Hello, everybody. Very warm welcome. The highest in me bows to the highest in you. May today and every day be a blissful day of your life, where bliss is defined as experiencing each experience as completely as you can. So thank you all for joining. And yes, we do have a special occasion, Guru Purnima. It's time to remember all our teachers and people who have guided us in a variety of different ways. Even though I'm very touched by the many messages you've all sent me, I do like to clarify that I don't see myself as a guru figure. I've always called myself a shuru, so I want to keep your expectations low. And also I want to be closer to all of you. I don't want to be on a pedestal. I don't want to be someone very high up. Just want to keep it simple and best to focus on the teachings and less on the messenger of the teachings. And the best to try out various things. And if they help us, then we should bring them into our lives. And our lives itself then become the example. So today's session is an opportunity for all of us to reflect on the guru principle more than the guru person. And the guru principle for me is anything that takes us from darkness to lightness. So part of today's session will be my take on this guru principle. And part of it will be also sharing where I am currently in my process, in my journey. And so you get a sense of how it's going for me. And then you can see if any of that makes sense for you. So why don't we start with just sitting comfortably wherever you are. Eyes can be open or closed or half open, whatever feels comfortable. There have been times in your life where someone, parent, a friend, teacher, mentor, has seen something in you that you never thought was there in yourself. Or sometimes they've questioned some belief you have about yourself, which you never questioned all this time. This may have happened at home, it may have happened in school, it may have happened at a friend's place, and someone saw something in you that you never noticed in yourself. And that expanded your sense of self. Of course, sometimes the opposite also happens. People see in you things you don't see in yourself and you feel really bad about yourself. That can also happen. But here we are talking about not the rugu, but the guru. Rugu is from light to darkness. And guru is from the darkness to light. So that which makes you feel lighter and brighter. Anything that makes you feel more empowered, more confident in dealing with life, and deeply inwardly comfortable, and I would even use the word secure, confident in your abilities, or confident that whatever shows up, you will have the capacity to deal with it. A wonderful story comes to mind of this father and his daughter, and they're walking and taking a nice evening walk, stroll, and the path that they're walking on, the branch of a tree has fallen. It's covered the whole path. And the daughter says, Father, how can we can't proceed because this branch is blocking our way. So father says, come on, you can do it, try. Father, the branch is too big, I'm too small. Come on, try. She tries. She says, no, father, I can't do it. So if you use all your strength, you can do it. So she tries really hard. She can barely even lift the branch. Father, I can't do it. If you use all your strength, you can do it. So one last time, she gives it everything she's got. Branch hardly moves. He says, Father, it's a waste of time. He said, I asked you to use all your strength. How come you didn't ask me for help? Am I not part of your strength? What a beautiful story. The daughter never thought, oh, asking can also be part of strength. He says, Dad, please help. So dad comes and dad and daughter together can easily lift the branch and they put it to the side. That's an example of something that never occurred to the girl that all her strength didn't just mean all her physical strength. The most powerful people in the world today are not the most physically strong people. They are the people who can harness the strength of others. That's an example of a breakthrough. So, as we're tuning in right now, examples of instances in our life where others have seen in us something that we did not see in ourselves, or others have challenged or questioned some limiting assumption we had about ourselves. That's a different kind of charity, to challenge someone's limiting thought. In fact, I've made a habit of this. Whenever I hear someone putting themselves down, I would ask a question like, is that true? What happens when you believe that thought? Tell me a better story. Or even something like cancel, cancel. Why would you believe that? Why would you say that? Right? You challenge people to tell a higher quality story. So this is the guru principle. And then it goes deeper than that. So not just to tell a better quality story, but to see the highest in the other person. I began today's session by the highest in me bows to the highest in you. So what would it be like for you? Just try this momentarily with me. To see yourself from the perspective of totality, from the perspective of eternity, from the perspective of life. To see yourself from the perspective of God. All normal ideas fall away. And to see others in the same way, from the perspective of totality, from the perspective of life, from the perspective of truth, and from the perspective of God. So this is the Guru principle. Guru, from darkness to light. A room might have been dark for 1,000,000 years, but on the light, instantly there's light. And I'm fortunate that in my lifetime, there have been many, many occasions where I've had a chance to notice a limiting thought, a limiting story, and challenge myself to go beyond it. And it's like a weight I didn't even know I was carrying. I was able to put it down. That's fascinating. I didn't even know I was carrying this weight. Now it feels so light, so light, so light. I recently had a retreat, which was a silent retreat. And for about a week, people were together with me. And one of the favorite sessions every day for about half an hour or so, I would invite people to just walk out. We were living in a very nice property and lots of trees and nature and beautiful rocks and mountain and clean air. And for half an hour, just ask people to walk out and do a forest stroll, nature stroll. And while they were doing the stroll, to listen to what the trees have to tell them, listen to what the rocks have to tell them, what the clouds have to tell them. And sometimes even ask, brother rock, sister tree, what do you have to tell me? And every day we give a small assignment like this. Go and walk in nature. And of course, there were many learnings in the day, even though it wasn't necessarily a big teaching retreat, it was mostly a practice retreat. The fascinating thing was, for most people, in the evening when they would share, it was this half an hour, 20-minute walk in the forest, stroll in the forest, stroll in nature, that made the biggest impact. So what I'm trying to say is that the guru principle is not limited to a person. A tree can be a guru. A rock can be a guru. An ant can be a guru. A mushroom can be a guru. A blade of grass can be a guru. Expand the notion of guru. Everything you need to know, you can learn just by looking at the sky. In Tibet, there are these people who are illiterate and they walk the yak or the whatever cows they have there, the sheep they have there. And while the sheep are roaming around, these shepherds or these cow herders don't have much to do. So they just sit and they look at the sky. And some of them become very wise day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. Looking at the sky, everything is right there. I am the sky. Everything else is better. I am the sky. Everything else is better. I am the sky. All these passing situations are better. How much time do I give the clouds? How much time and attention do I give to the clouds? How much time and attention do I give to the sky? I am that unchanging essence. So expanding the guru principle beyond people, of course, people we can learn so much from. We can also learn from simple things all around us. Just have to be open. Just have to be respectful. Just have to be willing to listen. Learn from someone younger than you. Learn from someone much less educated than you. Learn from someone who earns a lot less money than you. Don't get hung up on social hierarchies. The wise one learns from everyone and everything. So in my own way, I've tried to, in my own life, try to learn from various people and various books and various experiences, and including the difficult ones, difficult experiences, including the so-called failures or things that didn't go the way I wanted. Each of these have been like a guru, reminding me of something deeper. And today is a good day to be thankful, be grateful. And in my case, at least I can speak for myself. I have really no interest in people following me. In fact, that might be a big mistake. Please don't follow me. But look in the direction I'm pointing and see if it makes sense. And follow your own inner guidance. It would be a mistake to follow me. So that's why there's no, while of course I appreciate the loving messages I get on this day, I really don't see any of you as my followers. I see each one of you as very complete and total in your own right. Each one of you is here to experiment and try different things and learn, and some things will work and some things won't work. And that's fun. Go beyond your stories. And in this way, the guru principle starts operating within your life, whether you're a business person, whether you're in government, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a student, whether you're at home, whether you're depressed, whether you're happy, whether successful, unsuccessful, trying to get into a competitive exam, achieving or failing. The guru principle starts operating within you. The intelligence of life starts operating within you. Recently, I said something that somehow a lot of people liked, so I'll repeat it here. That when you were in your mother's womb, there was an intelligence that was taking care of you. When you were in your mother's womb, there was a certain intelligence of life that was taking care of you. All your nutrition, all your safety, everything was taken care of. The right amount of temperature, the right amount of hydration. So why not also recognize that this life is just a larger womb? Your mother's womb was just the size of your body, but this is just a bigger womb. And there's an intelligence here as well. Right now, your body has trillions of cells. You're not operating even one of them consciously. Digestion is happening, respiration is happening, cells are dividing. Various bacteria, viruses are being fought off. Some good bacteria are also there. They're helping you in the life process. So this is a tremendous intelligence. And so for me, Guru Purnima is about coming into alignment with this tremendous intelligence of life. It's not about being smarter than anybody else or even wiser than anybody else. It's about recognizing the intelligence that's always available and coming into alignment with it. And how that intelligence will show up for you may not be the same way it shows up for me. There's no template to follow. It would be a mistake to think that wisdom looks the same in every person. I'm not sure about that. Maybe some of you will become more outgoing, will take on more projects, will become quite busy. And some of you will become very quiet, very restful, more isolated. And I don't think one is better than the other automatically. That intelligence will operate through you, as you. And there'll be no sense of ownership. One lesson I've had to learn over these years is that whether I'm teaching or facilitating or whatever it is, the more I can empty myself, the more powerful it is. How fascinating. It's not filling myself up with, oh, I should teach this, I should talk about this, I should tell that story. No, it's actually the more I empty myself, the more powerful it is, the more relevant it is, the more suitable it is, the more transformative possibly it is. So I invite you to check in your life as well, whether you're a teacher, or whether you have a family, whether you are a student. Can you empty yourself of your ideas about yourself? Your ideas about what you are about, what life is about, what you're here to do. Just loosen that grip a bit and allow the intelligence of life to take over. And for a brief moment, experience totality, completeness, wholeness. Who are you in totality, in your wholeness, in your completeness? What is this moment in totality, in its wholeness and its completeness? What is life in totality, wholeness and completeness? So my real interest, if any, is to be connected to this intelligence and perhaps to support you in connecting to this intelligence yourself. I'd like each of you to be a live wire, and don't just agree with what I say or even necessarily practice what I say. You be a live wire and you see what practice comes through. You see what focus comes through, what priority comes through. Be a live wire of this intelligence. Whether you touch 10 lives or a million lives or no lives, somehow something is very fulfilled, very satiated, very complete. Some deep thirst is quenched in the process. So this would be the message for Guru Purnima, that the Guru is not just a person. Guru is a principle. Guru can be a tree, Guru can be a rock, Guru can be a child. Guru could be anyone or anything, could be an event of your life. Takes you from limitation to the unlimited. Takes you from being fearful and anxious to being confident. And the Guru is about totality, seeing the completeness in every person, every moment, every situation. May not happen often, but even the few moments it happens, incredibly powerful. Like, for example, if a teacher, just before entering his or her classroom, would just take a moment and experience himself, herself in totality, and see her class in totality, each student in totality, whatever he or she is teaching in totality. And then go on and teach whatever you're teaching. It's going to be a very, very powerful class. Something said or done in that class will deeply move one or more students. What you see in others, you bring out in others. What you see in others, you evoke in others, bring out in others. So inviting each of you to access your own Guru principle, which is the intelligence of life, is always available. And sure, we can learn from many people, but let them be secondary sources of your guidance. The primary guidance come from this intelligence of life, the totality, or if some of you like the word, God. Very beautiful. Second part of today's session is to give you a bit of an update on where I am in my journey. Eyes can be open or closed. So one important shift that's happened for me is recognizing that even spirituality is a journey, just like there are many journeys we take. The journey to become more learned or educated, the journey to be liked, the journey to be more powerful, the journey to have more wealth or resources or whatever. The journey of religion, seeking blessings and protection and guidance. The journey of spirituality, seeking illumination, wisdom, enlightenment. And the moment we're on a journey, we are going away from something and we're approaching something. Going away from something and approaching something, isn't it? So then I came to this place through a variety of experiences and came to this place where, well, what if I don't want to go away from it? And what if I don't want to approach anything? So what's it like to not have a journey? I mean, at one level, of course, there will be a journey. Body and mind will be up to its own mischief. But what if deep inside, I just drop the whole project? Not even seeking enlightenment. And a very deep relaxation happened. A very deep acceptance happened. A very deep allowing myself and everything, including the world, to just be happened. It even made me question, can I really continue in this role of teaching what I do if this is where I am? So I don't know the answer to that. We'll see how it goes. But right now it still has some momentum, so it's going. And deep questioning of a lot of the beliefs and assumptions I've made over the years. What I'm trying to achieve in this life, or become in this life, or do in this life, or help in this life. A deep questioning of all of that. So at least where I am right now, I don't feel a great need to improve or change anyone's life. If there's any invitation, it would be, yeah, rest with what is. And most people will say, what do you mean rest with what is? I'm struggling over here, having a fight at home every day, and I can't pay my bills. But let me ask you, will there ever be a good time? There'll always be someone's getting married, someone's falling sick, someone's gotten injured. You keep on waiting. If you can't rest now, then I don't know when you'll rest. So rest is one aspect. The other aspect is a very gentle, not a very forceful, but a very gentle process of release. Rest and release. My last retreat had these two themes: rest and release. Release what? Release the extra tightness. I mean, if you realize you've been clenching your hand all day long, you can release a little bit. It's all right. Release a little bit. It's all right. Don't have to create so much tension for yourself. So extremely simple, gentle processes for helping release. So rest and release, rest and release. Not to become a better person, not to get anywhere. We don't know if you'll become a better person. We don't know if you'll get anywhere. We don't know if you'll achieve anything. We don't know if you'll become more lucky or more successful. We don't know if um, your problem will disappear. Maybe they won't. But right in the middle of that, we rest and release, rest and release, rest and release. For me, that's so nice and refreshing and relaxing. Sometimes people send me long messages asking for help, help me with this relationship problem, help me with financial problem, help me with this other problem. And sometimes I'm completely okay saying, I don't know how to. It doesn't hurt my ego as a spiritual. Yeah, I know so many techniques and tools and methods, and I should tell them something. But it feels quite fine to say, I don't know how to. Maybe sometimes I have something to say, so I'll say, but it's a nice relief to not have the answers. Very painful. You're thanking all your gurus today, but can you imagine the pain of the gurus having to have all the answers, having to know everything? Pretty painful place to be. But there is something, it's kind of subtle, but you may not have an answer to fix someone's problem. But one subtle thing is you may not see a problem to begin with. That would be quite a breakthrough. If the person recognizes, you're the only person who doesn't see a problem. Everybody else recognizes I have a problem. They're trying to help me, but you don't even see a problem. For some, that might be a breakthrough. I had a teacher when I was in college. I had a habit those days of writing down my thoughts and emotions. So whenever I get disturbed, and many of us as teenagers, we got quite disturbed about many things. So I'd write down, this happened, that happened. I behaved like I shouldn't have said this, I shouldn't have done that, I shouldn't have thought that. Write down all these many pages. Go with a lot of emotion in my and read out to him. He just smiled and said, yeah. He had no advice to give me. He just listened. And he just saw me as whole. He just saw me as whole and complete. He didn't see any problem. And always reliably, just hanging out for 1 hour, 2 hours, you would feel very light. So we don't have to make it an ego issue that we have to have answers for everything in the world. So yeah, I guess that's kind of where I am. It may change, who knows? No guarantee. But the journey of no journey, with not trying to get anywhere, not even spiritually get anywhere. I'm not trying to transform myself or transform others or even transform the world, actually. And for some of you, that will sound very pessimistic and very sad. I think a little bit of reading history will help. Great civilizations have come and gone. Very great civilizations. Very great leaders have come and gone. Teachers have come and gone. Each one thought they're making a big difference. The most startling thing I read, when I read recently, I was reading this book, Sapiens. And the most startling thing I found was that what we think was a great positive step, agricultural revolution, such a positive step. We no longer have to go hunting and gathering, and was actually the source of almost all our problems today. Deforestation, this idea of marriage, getting, trying to control women, having a lot of children, owning land, you know, cutting forests so you can have more land, then the hierarchy of extremely rich and very poor, It all comes from what we thought was a fantastic idea, agriculture. And even our nutrition has gone down because we were never designed to eat so much grain. Reading that book, I thought, wow, what those people thought was a great positive step turned out to create so much trouble in the world. Now you're dependent on rain. If rain doesn't come 1 year, millions of people are going to now be in trouble. And no matter how much crop you grow, the whole system is designed in a way that the poor will always remain poor. I was studying economics. I was struck and realized that India, this is talking about India, that's what I studied. India has enough grain surplus, enough grain reserves. Not a single person in this country has to go hungry. We have enough grain reserves. Despite that, I don't know what current number is, 30-40% of this country. Crazy number. Struggling to eat enough food every day. Right? And then there's a very large number that sleeps hungry every single night. So then that was very shocking that we have it, we don't. So it's not a problem of lack, it's a problem of how it's distributed. That's a systemic thing. So what I'm trying to say is that could it be, and you don't have to agree with this, instead of relying on our head and what we think is the right thing to do, what if we start looking at things from the perspective of totality, even if you don't know what that means right now? You see yourself from the perspective of totality. You see those around you from the perspective of totality. Each experience from the perspective of totality, it's whole and complete. And allow this intelligence, which is taking care of every single atom in the universe, allow this intelligence to run and do what it has to do. And instead of trying to change, improve, transform, you come into alignment with this intelligence and then see what happens. Then see what thoughts come, words come, actions come. And so at least for me, it's been a big relief to put down this whole project of trying to be a better person, even a more enlightened person, trying to be a more helpful person, putting down the whole project. So that is where I am at present, the journey of no journey, and not getting too hung up, hopefully, to any identity or any philosophy, including the journey of no journey can also become a new philosophy, and getting too hung up in any of those things. I guess that's all I have to say today. If anybody would like to say something, you're welcome to type it out or raise your hand. You can unmute yourself. Enjoy your rest, release, and beingness mode. Can feel the unburdening in you. What does no journey mean for you as of now? No journey means there's no anxiety to be anything different or anything better or worse. That's what it means. So much resonance. This was liberating. Any story do you want to share that's special? Any story I want to share? I guess it's not a story, but it's an idea you might have heard of before. That at the end of all our wanderings, we come back to the place we began and we see it for the first time. So that would be a micro story. Akanksha, go ahead.
Hi Nithya. Nithya, last couple of days, this has been weighing heavily on my mind. So when we talk about lies, okay, I mean, a lie is a lie. Whether we want to call it a white lie, gray lie, green lie, it's a lie. But in an everyday life, at times I come to a point where I have to lie about something, like, my work involves where I have to not tell people something, or I have to lie to get my work done. Sometimes I have to threaten somebody to say, if you don't solve this, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to complain against you and stuff like that, because things don't get done otherwise. But then how do I justify that? It's like weighing very heavily on me because a lie is a lie. But then if I don't do that, then somebody's getting hurt.
Hmm. So are you saying that, I mean, my question to you would be that do the means justify the end? That
Yes.
lying is justifying the end or whatever you're trying to achieve?
Yes, they do justify the end, but then then I feel like I'm in my self-critical mode. I say that just because it's convenient or just because the end is justifying it, I feel that it's okay to lie. But then if I don't lie, I know the consequences could be really harsh on somebody.
Yeah, I'm having trouble answering your question because I've kind of not been in that situation much. I've kind of just focused on telling the truth or just being quiet. And that's kind of how my life has worked out. So um, I'm having trouble.
Can I give you an example?
Yeah, you can give an example.
I'll give you a specific example. So there's a child who was missing, and the police in that state, in that town, would not respond to me, and we were trying our best.
Yeah.
So eventually I reached a point where I told that officer that I'm recording this call, and I'm going to just release this recording to
Yeah.
the media, and I'm going to tell them how callous you are and how reckless you are. Should something happen to that child, you don't even know what I'm capable of doing. I wasn't really recording the call. I wasn't going to call any media, nothing. But I created hell, and then that did get movement from them. We did manage to trace that kid in 2 days, but I don't know. I still lied. I still screamed. I still did something. I used unfair means for a fair end.
I mean, I'm wondering why you're feeling guilty about it. Because you have a concept, you have a identity of someone who doesn't lie.
Yes.
Who are you without that identity?
Actually, happy. Like a child. My stomach is hurting. I don't want to go to the school.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I think you kind of answered your question because go beyond these identities, and in that moment the intelligence of life said this is what's needed for the child, and a minor detail like I'm recording the call or not recording the call, that's what was needed in that moment. And recording, you never said I'm recording on my phone, you just said recording. You could be
Yeah.
recording, you could be recording in your memory.
And media could be anything. I could be telling my computer media.
I'm recording in my notebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the lies which I have to end up telling, they are not intended to harm or cause any profit, get some money out of anybody. No, they're all for the benefit of some third person.
Mhm.
But then I come back and I question myself, one, two, three. I told 3 lies today.
I guess as long as you are, I don't know how many, like even though I right now said I don't lie, but I wonder if I'm also that completely honest.
That can be a lie.
That could be a lie. So I would just say that we have to live with the consequences of what we do, and can we just operate from as much a place of totality as possible? And I think not trying to be so perfect about anything, and as long as your conscience is clear, why you're doing what you're doing. Ultimately, we have to live with ourselves. And yeah, so I don't know if I have a good answer for you.
That's the truth. So may I just add something about that Guru Purnima thing you were saying when people are sending you long messages and saying all of that?
Yeah.
So can I?
Yeah.
May I?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I was just thinking about it, and I've known you at least a decade, maybe more. And I think for me, of course, you're a teacher, and of course, you're a mentor and a guide. And whenever my life is like all over the place, I'm like, Nithya, help, bring it back on track. But more than that, I just feel you're like You're like a very clean, spotless mirror. So there are lots of emotions and a lot of questions which I might want to ask, and the answer is there somewhere within ourselves, within our spiritual body. But then we all need that mirror to look into. And you are that person who just reflects it back exactly how it is. Like, okay, wow, you asked for it, take it. This is how it is. Sometimes I think back and I say, yeah, I mean, yeah, it can be no other way. So I just want to thank you for being so transparent with no frills attached. And it is what it is. Yeah, I don't have an answer.
Yeah.
So I love that about you. And thank you so, so much for just being who you are.
Yeah, thank you. As you were speaking, I was trying to remember the times I have lied in the recent past. And of course, I caught myself in the act. I'm like, ah. And and actually for me, I found it very cute that I would lie. I found it very cute that I would lie about that. It's small things, trying to get away from a traffic cop about, oh, there's something happened. Oh, okay. They're like, thank you, 100 rupees. And not every time. Sometimes I say, yeah, it was my fault and I pay for it, whatever. But I just, so I think it's nice to hold these identities lightly.
Yeah.
And then you can just go through life and it wouldn't be such a tedious thing.
Yeah. So it's not like, sitting heavily on my conscience or like I can't sleep. I can sleep very well.
Great.
Because I know that some child is safe. But yeah, okay, fine.
And so many of us enjoy shows, right?
Yeah.
I heard that you recently became a fan of Netflix or something.
I suddenly discovered, Nithya, after 10 years of, working all the time, I suddenly discovered there's this thing called television at my home. There's shiny, nice looking people on it. And they're dressed well and they speak so well. And like, it's just beautiful. So I watch TV every day now, at least for half. Dedicated. You cannot like disturb me at that time.
That's all make believe, right? And it's
Yeah.
giving real world benefits. So
Yeah,
as long
absolutely.
as, so then what if we decide all of this is make believe? So if it's all make believe, then just go with it.
Yes.
But just take responsibility for, I mean, there'll be consequences of everything, right? So when you do intentionally lie, there will be consequences of that. So then take the consequences. Don't dodge it. Just bring it on, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly.
All right.
Thank
I
you.
can do that. All right.
So a few people are raising their hand, but I just want to go to some questions in the chat. So there is someone saying, how would you answer the question, what's worthy of giving your attention to in this lifetime? What's worthy of giving your attention to in this lifetime? I would really just say whatever catches my interest, whatever catches my curiosity. I don't think any one thing is necessarily more worthy than the other. I've lost that assumption. So if reading a book is catching my interest, that's fine. And if not doing much is catching my interest, that's fine. If planning something is catching my interest. So I would just say that I don't think there's one thing necessarily better than the other. Then I'm in a place where I've been trying for family for a few years now through medical treatment. I'm also gravitating strongly towards spirituality. Can I be on two journeys? I don't know if they're two journeys. You're trying to start a family and you're gravitating towards spirituality. I don't think they're two necessarily different journeys. I don't think they're conflicting journeys in any case. And that's fine. It's fine to want to start a family and I think now we should grow out of the idea that spirituality is somehow opposed to family life. That's an old idea of spirituality. So true spirituality should be including everything, right? And trying to find the God or the divinity in everything. But then that also is a journey. So I've taken a break from that journey. I think the intention will matter. Do you chant still? I do not chant anymore. Yeah, I don't chant anymore. I do some kind of a mantra these days, but it's not like a full-on chanting. It just takes 2 minutes. But that mantra is designed to remind me that I'm on a non-journey. Nithya, isn't it a single journey? We have the different name. You said, for example, spiritual journey. Someone may have said material journey. Yeah, exactly. They're all different journeys. These are all different journeys. And the whole idea of journey, like I said, is getting away from something and towards something. So who are you without any desire to be on the journey? And maybe that's not for everyone here. And please, by all means, enjoy your journey. I'm not trying to sell a new thing. Have fun. I've been on many journeys in my life. Why should I stop you? Thank you. I respect your calling, but I think you just need a break, not getting off the path. Or maybe just not the driving seat. It's an irreversible ship. You can't go back. Just relax and release them. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? But you know, this path thing, so even earlier only, I was already very skeptical of being on a path to something. So I don't know if I can really ever go back to that idea. What do you see? Is there a possibility of you stopping all this and go live somewhere else? Of course it is. Why not? Expect the unexpected. And we have Rituparna raising hand. Go ahead, Ritu. Oh, you can't unmute. Wait, I'll try.
Hi, Nithya. I'm prompted to say something. One, because it's Guru Purnima. Secondly, I feel the threads of it connecting with what you shared about your state of no journey. So, one is all teachings that you floated to us, or stories, or acronyms, or all such things. There's one thing that always stays with me, no matter how unaware I am. And that's what you say at the end of every practice, and whatever you've done is good. So at any given moment, whenever there's this sense of insufficiency, I'm reminded whatever you've done is good, and that really supports. And also that sort of puts you in a way that grounds me in the present more than any other practice. Because, like, okay, what can I do now? It's all right if I'm not able to give what I think is my 100%, or something's not coming through, or whatever. But what is what it is. So that's really helpful.
Beautiful.
Is whenever I, in the initial days of the practice, whenever I reached out to you with a problem, because after my in for a while, you begin to discover that, okay, there are alternative ways of looking at ill health, of a family member in danger, of anything, of a financial issue, and a parenting issue, or whatever. So once in a while, when I've reached out to you, I've always reached out to you with the feeling that, okay, what practice can I do now to, like, calm myself, or to basically get back on track, or whatever, what's most appropriate. But you've actually never advised. You always, in some sense, validated my state, in the sense that it's okay to, like, lose calm or whatever, and then maybe do whatever else, the next best step possible. Like, so that's also, like, the whole social education and the culture system is designed to tell you what's faulty with you, and what more you could have done, and, oh, this mistake happened. So the first one who brought to my attention was, it's not a mistake. It's happening, and it's all right, and I'm recognizing that I'm limited in some way, and so on. So that was, again, like you said, without that, dropped in me the intention to prove myself to anybody, or to myself, or to get any better than who I am in that moment. So there was no need for change. If change happens through any such holistic practices and so on, it could be talking to a tree, or meditating, or writing, or whatever. If change happens, it happens, but otherwise I'm on. And the third thing is also what you mentioned somewhere in your conversation so far, is that the biggest blessing in being in your orbit in the last 2 years have been that not many things look like a valid problem to me anymore. So whenever I see myself worrying, I am actually worried about not having a worry. I'm like, what's wrong with me? And, like, people ask, where are you going, leaving your children? I'm like, why in the hell I'm not worried about my children? And I'm like, and all these things, like, things that I know don't have, and any iota of prudence or pragmatism will tell you that one should be worried about it, and I'm not having a worry. I'm like, this is another problem. But anyway, the thing is that, there's an automatic lens of relooking at problems as problems and life as life and so on. So in some state it's cool. Yeah, it's today I don't feel like a meditation is not so good, or tomorrow something else is wrong, or I'm late for something, or I misbehave with someone, or so on. But as long as I can sometimes come back to center, or even look at myself, not in a completely self-absorbed way, but witnessing all this happening, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations for making the decision that you did. I think you, to some extent, it seems to me you were always on that track. I was like, what new is he doing? But
Thank you.
it makes sense to you.
And we have from Ritu Parna to Ritu Agarwal. Go ahead, Ritu.
Yeah, good evening, Nithya.
Good evening.
I wanted to answer to the Eddie. The thing, like, if you want to lie, and if you are lying for a good thing, is not bad. As in Mahabharata, Krishna has also said, किसी अच्छे काम के लिए झूठ बोला जाए तो वो अच्छा ही होता है, उसका कुछ bad result या कर्मा नहीं होता. Though I have dropped karma, enlightenment, and all, as you have said, you have dropped chasing all the awareness, enlightenment, and everything. I am just going with the time. He has told in the story of Ashwadhama, where he lied. So telling lie for a good thing is not a bad thing. So you don't have to.
The only thing is a little tricky because everyone will find a good thing. So we should, because like somebody says, oh, I've got loans to pay off. I've got a daughter to get married. I'm supporting some social organization. I'm donating some profit to that. So we have to be a little careful because one can very easily justify just about anything.
Yes.
That's the only thing, because ऐसे तो सब लोग ही बोलेंगे अच्छा अच्छे के लिए कर रहे हैं.
बस किसके अच्छे के लिए कर रहे हैं, that's the matter. It's not for yourself, it's for the other, then it's good.
Yeah. So I think we have to I would just say take responsibility. Don't be so afraid of all of this. Just take full responsibility for whatever's happening. I saw this, when I was in school, we went for a holiday to Nainital, school holiday. And some of my seniors, one class older to me, 1 or 2 classes older, they were playing cricket and they broke a window. Only one boy was caught. Nobody else was caught. And the other, I saw them discussing that he's got caught, we've not gotten caught. We also were playing. So why should he get punished alone? So they all went up to the teacher and said, we also were playing. So they all got punished. But I love that. I love that they took responsibility.
The unity.
And just take responsibility. Yeah? If you've done it, take responsibility.
Take 100% responsibility.
Yeah, pay the price for it.
Yes. And the second thing, you have relieved me a lot by dropping a lot of things, and just nowadays I become more quieter and more calmer. Anxiety is like not anywhere around me nowadays. I'm just observing, and I'm in a more calmer state, and I'm being just observing.
Yeah.
I'm not retaliating. I'm not giving suggestions. I'm not saying anything. I'm just sitting and seeing the drama, what's happening around me. So that's very fun. That's very interesting, and I'm really enjoying it. It's better than any TV serial.
Very nice. Thanks, Ritu.
Yeah.
Let's go to Sandhya next.
Hi, Sandhya. Hi, Nithya.
Hi.
Happy Guru Purnima. So,
I like it.
You really like it? I think so.
Beyond Buddha is Buddhu.
Anyways, yesterday was a major earthquake for us, the Rainbow Body Sangha. So I just want to ask you this question, that what's the difference between a monk who's chanting his whole life and attaining rainbow body or attaining wherever he is, and the thing that you're talking about that you are following right now, no journey. So where are you going, and what are they doing? I mean,
I don't know actually. I would be very presumptuous to say I know, and I don't think one is better than the other necessarily. Somewhere the whole juice of trying to make something out of this life, and whether it's rainbow body or whether it's light body act or some siddhi or some amazing ability or some amazing quality, including compassion. I mean, I've talked so much about compassion and gratitude and all of that. But what if I just don't manipulate any of this? What if I don't try to have a more lofty mind? What if I don't try to have a more lofty consciousness? Yeah, in fact, my retreat that I just had, it began with the theme of what if you don't try to alter your consciousness by being more loving or being more compassionate or being more anything? What if you don't try to do that? Now what happens? Of course, I mean, a little bit to altering hoga hi, but don't purposely go all out to try to alter your consciousness, alter your experience. Suppose you don't try to alter your experience, now what? So for me, at least, this is actually a superior state than even attaining a rainbow body, actually. Those of you who don't know what a rainbow body is, you'll have to Google it a little bit. But rainbow body is a phenomena where people, when they die, their body doesn't become a corpse and go and decay. It actually becomes light. That's been reported to be happening many times. So I don't know. For me, this is what feels right now. I don't think it necessarily is right for you or anybody else. And who knows, I might change and might come back knocking on the rainbow body Sangha. Please let me in. I made a big mistake.
That's funny. Thank you so much, Nithya.
Thank you. Wonderful. Anybody else? Savita's raising hands. Savita, go. Why can't I hear you? For some reason, I can't hear you, Savita. I'm sorry. I can hear some. Yeah, now I can hear you. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Somehow I don't know. I don't know the reason or meaning. I'm able to resonate with no journey concept because as a complete human spectrum that it has to felt the way it has to be. I'm able to connect with that. I'm right or wrong. I'm really not sure about it. But can it be true? I posted that question in the chat also. No journey is also a sort of a journey because it took the decision of it should or it should, giving up the thought of it should be or it should not be.
That's classical. This is the way this world is structured. The moment you say, I am something, you automatically include the opposite. That's just the way the world. If you see the yin yang symbol, it's exactly like that. The moment you say, I'm really strong, you're covering up some weakness.
Something, yeah.
And then, like recently in one of my sessions, someone came and said, I feel like a fake. To say I feel like a fake takes a lot of courage. It's a big truth.
Yeah.
You cannot say I'm weak without being strong. You cannot say I'm strong without hiding a weakness. So that's what we have to
some
go with.
Strength will be there behind weakness and some weakness.
But broadly,
some strength
just
will be there.
understand let me just finish. I'm happy to hear you. So just broadly understand the sense of where I'm coming from. Don't get caught up in the words. And that is also a kind of a journey. That is also a kind of so there is that is understood. And then despite that, just look at the broader thing that I'm pointing to. Go ahead. What are you saying?
Yeah. Maybe. I think I lost my words. I mean, they went off. It's okay. I think maybe it is like behind the strength, there is a weakness. Behind the weakness, there is a strength from which we are coming from.
Yeah.
They go parallelly.
So what is the view of totality? In this moment, who are you without the assumption that something's missing in this moment? Who are you without the assumption that you need to alter something in this? Either you alter your thoughts or alter your feelings or alter your life situation. Even
it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, it is whole and complete.
That's what I mean by journey. So material journey means when I have more things or when I have more money or when I have more something, then I will be content. Religious journey says when I'm more pure or when I'm more blessed or when I'm more protected or when I'm in God's favorite child by doing certain rituals and following certain rules, then everything will be fine, right? The social work journey says when I can help a lot of people and I make the world a better place, then I have fulfilled my purpose of being. Doesn't have to be people, can be animals as well, or even plants. The journey of being liked. Let me be a good person. Let me help a lot of people. Let me be a likable, affectionate person. All right. The journey, a spiritual journey. Let me have more wisdom. Let me have more freedom. Let me have more enlightenment. Let me activate all the amazing capacities that are deep within me. Each of these is assuming that we can alter our experience for something better. And I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily. But I'm just asking, who are you without that? Who are you without all of those games? Just try it for just 1 second. You can go back to the journey. No worries. There's something there. Dolly, go ahead.
I wanted to ask Nithya, you just told Sandhya about what if we don't alter our consciousness? What if we don't have, like, you'll started the retreat that way?
Yeah, correct.
Can you go a little more deeper in that? Because if from a place of ego, if I have to put my example as a person, I had this tremendous ego, which was unseen for me. I didn't know it was ego, but because I have altered my consciousness level, I realized today that I was coming from a place of ego at that point of time. So when you say, what if we don't even alter our consciousness? So if I don't keep on altering my consciousness for a better being for myself, then how would I ever realize that I was coming from a place of ego? Or in the future, from whatever place I am at this moment? Or I hope I'm kind of...
Like, I'll just tell you, you may have a different word for ego, but my understanding of ego is when you're believing your thoughts. When you're believing all your thoughts, you're in the world of ego. And when you don't, and ego, by the way, is constantly trying to alter your experience. If you look at it, ego is saying, "Ye karo, wo karo, do this, do more of this, do less of that. Come on," and judging you. You didn't do a good enough job. They didn't do a good enough job. Because of them, you're suffering. Ego is constantly at war with reality. So I would actually say that what you're saying, I altered my consciousness to recognize my ego and all. That was actually a moment of not altering your consciousness that you recognize the ego. Because ego is always trying to alter the consciousness. Ego is constantly trying to alter the game and make it a little bit better. So what you're saying happened through altering. I'm saying it happened through not altering. If you said, I tried to understand my ego, then that's the ego only. Now the spiritual ego has come. After meditating for 7 years, my ego is non-existent. Oh, really? That sounds like a much more shadowy ego.
Correct. But this thing of altering the consciousness, maybe not today, but in the future, if we could go a little more in depth towards that, because it's a little bit still confusing.
Why not? The basic thing is the practice we were doing in the retreat. I mean, it's a funny word, practice, but nevertheless, that we would sit for 21 minutes in any position that was comfortable, eyes open or closed. And we would just allow our body to be body and our mind to be mind. And we wouldn't follow any meditation technique. We wouldn't try to watch the breath. We wouldn't try to do a mantra. We wouldn't try to think of love and compassion. And if it felt unpleasant, it just felt unpleasant. And if it felt peaceful, it just felt peaceful. If the mind was racing, it was just racing. If the mind was quiet, it was just quiet. So this is still something of a practice, but it's a very, very light practice. It's almost transparent. Not trying to alter your experience. And experience does get altered without trying to alter the experience. Yeah, that would be going a little bit deeper into what I said.
Yeah. Got it. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Anupama is next.
Hi, Nithya.
Hi.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know, I wrote also in the messages, but too many.
For some reason, I can hardly hear. And I can hear the feedback of my own voice. I'm wondering what's going on.
Still can't hear me?
Mute myself when you're speaking. Speak a little louder.
Hello. Now is it okay? Still? No?
I can hear you though, so carry on.
Yeah, I just want to say that, I still lose it with my mother, and we still have our arguments, but, I've stopped judging myself or her, and I try to sometimes go deeper. Basically just accepting and not really thinking too much about it. And it's just, I think it's just acceptance. And I don't have too many words right now. Uh, Not too many concepts and all that. Why this is happening? We have some negative past thing or whatever. So I just take it as what it is at that moment, and I just try to understand why I'm saying it sometimes. Is it something deeper? And just finish it off there and then, not think too much. And next moment we are laughing and all that. And I just want to say this book, Confusion No More. Can you see?
By whom?
This is by Ramesh Balsekar.
Yeah, yeah.
So this one is especially for people who were talking about ego, and all of us talk about it. So
Yeah,
it explained everything so simply that I felt I don't want to read any other book,
oh, lovely. Yeah.
I think everyone should go through it.
Excellent.
That or kuch nahi
Thank you
bolna.
for sharing that. I got a feeling of where you are. Very beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anupama. All right. Have I missed any chat comments? Let me check. Do you think total integration is a possibility in the world that we live in today? The kind of cheerfulness we about pure being each moment, no desire for improvement and growth. I don't know if it is. I don't know if it is, but definitely a little bit more total than one is usually in is possible. How about a totally imperfect integration? That would still be a total integration. Does the ego ever go away? For it to go away, it has to be there. So catch it. See if you can catch it. Catch the one who's believing the thoughts. Very interesting. On Buddha Purnima, you read some chants on Buddha. I felt so drawn to you. And we have those often, not just once a year. अभी तो मैं break ले रहा हूँ ये सब से. It's the wrong time to ask for all of this. Can you read chants and all? All right, then we have Bhavna reading. Bhavna, go ahead.
First of all, happy Guru Purnima. What a big change from last year's Guru Purnima to this year's Guru Purnima, right? Last year we were talking about so much spiritual stuff and thankful stuff, and this time we are talking about no journey. But I don't know if anybody asked this question, if you are going to take us all to your no journey also, or if you are going to be there by yourself. So then it doesn't matter whatever journey you are on, we want to enjoy that part also. But no, I just really wanted to appreciate you for all your efforts, and all the Sangha members also. As you said, there is Guru in each and every one of us. So I learned a lot from you, from all the Sangha members. It has been a beautiful journey. And then, yes, it did alter my consciousness. And and I think that's the whole thing, is just like you want to try to live the best of your life, right? By changing thoughts or by changing your emotions. And I think there is only one journey called life, and then it has different components: spiritual, emotional, personal. And the whole point is that whatever it is, like, you just don't hold it tightly, and then live all of them, because that's what we are born to this earth, right? To experience all those experiences and do our best in whatever capacity we can. I think that's what I just wanted to say, and I just wanted to appreciate you for being in our life, and hope to continue no journey with you.
There's this nice quote that falling is flying without the tyranny of coordinates. Falling is flying without the tyranny of coordinates. So I guess where I am, what we're saying, no journey, is actually a sense of completely allowing this body to do its body thing, completely allowing this mind to do its mind thing, completely allowing these emotions to do their emotion thing, completely allowing these habits to do their habit thing. And they will have consequences, and it will not always be pleasant. But in any case, who always has it pleasant? And pleasant has no meaning without the unpleasant anyway.
True.
And so allowing it to happen, and yeah, and that may include regret, and that may include second guessing, and that may include doubt, and that may include all kinds of things. But what if one is not holding back from any of it?
Mm-hmm. But
Right?
at this moment, you took that step and you feel that deep relaxation, deep letting go, deep, like maybe you were carrying something very tight, but you're letting it go. And then
I
you're
don't even know
feeling
if
deep
I
peace.
took that step or it's that step took itself. But yes, definitely is. And I'm not going to pretend to say that, oh, I've become enlightened or I have some very great. No, I'm not going to say any of those things. I'm perfectly capable of being quite reactive and everything. But something in me is not afraid of being reactive. And something in me is not afraid of. So that is really quite freeing, is what I would say. I don't know if my life will match the spiritual templates. And it may disappoint some of you or many of you. And that's all right. So it's amazing. It's amazing for falling to be flying without the tyranny of coordinates.
Kya baat hai? Awesome. It's going to be a beautiful journey. I know that you're a beautiful being. Whatever you do, it's going to be beautiful. And then lots of love to you and lots of good luck. Best wishes. Yeah.
So much of good luck for my non-journey.
No journey. Jahan bhi jaoge, you will be fine. But can you know, that's what you are. So, but at the moment, I can feel that you're really excited about this new journey, and I wish you the best. Yeah.
The best is I'm telling people I'm going on a non-journey, and they're hearing you're going on a long journey.
Long journey. Nice. Yeah.
Thanks, Bhavna. Yeah. Go ahead, Prachi.
Hi, Nithya. What do I say? I'm feeling very overwhelmed because whatever you're talking today is actually making me very senti, very senti. I somehow have a very deep connection with you now, and the journey has been, transformational for me. It's been not much time, but it seems like I've known you forever, and whatever it is you're calling, I respect that, and I see you happy. That's what matters. And I today morning also I said this thing. Then when the student is ready, the master appears, and you appeared like that. And I read another quote: when the student is truly ready, the master disappears. And that's what you're doing now.
Good one.
So maybe all your students are ready to, be on their own journey, and you have become a channel for them, and you have illuminated the light within all of us. And for me, I mean, it's a very personal experience. You are not your teachings, or there's not have been a day when I don't listen to your chants, or even if I'm not in, any of your groups, or if I'm not able to attend all the sessions and all, but I make sure I listen to any of your teachings or your chants, and they're very peaceful, very calming. And I feel you're part of my family, part of me actually, because all that I am now is all thanks to you, because I met you when I was at the lowest phase.
Yeah. Take your time.
Just be well, be there for all of us. You might not need this, but the world needs you.
Thank you.
You're one of the finest, purest, organic, authentic person I've ever seen in my life. And trust me, I've met so many people. And the way you've been honest about it, whatever you know, whatever you don't know, you have no pretense. You're rare. It's okay. It's okay. You take a break. Maybe we can talk. There are other things to talk about. Don't talk about spirituality. Don't talk about ज्ञान वाली बातें. We can have fun sessions maybe.
अभी मस्ती होने वाली है.
हाँ, वो ठीक है.
Someone is saying suddenly the call feels like a farewell call.
No. I can never bid you farewell. Never ever.
No, it's going to be fun. And I think it's actually, it may sound like, at least from my perspective, it's not about excluding, it's about including. So I don't feel I'm in a better place than any of you. I feel that it includes everything else. It includes wanting to be better and wanting to be healthier and wanting to make the world a better place. And all of that is valid. And also being okay if it's not happening is also valid. So no fixation anymore, you see? That's what's beautiful.
Yes, true.
Nice, beautiful. Good, deep breath. Thank you for sharing, Praj. Seema is saying something.
I have been following Nithya for 11, 12 years now. There was no Rainbow Body Sangha earlier. And it has started just 1 year back, I believe. And since 1 year, we were constantly in contact. Yes, Nithya was approachable for us. But before that, he was not approachable also. I could read his whatever articles and all. And I could see some of his videos on YouTube. And whenever I needed some help or something, I used to write in Facebook Messenger, and he used to reply in that also. So it's okay if he wants to relax and release for some time and be on a non-journey. We will still be in contact with him.
Yes.
बात हो ना हो, मिले ना मिले, कांटेक्ट हमेशा रहेगा. मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि अगली बार हम न्यू मून सेशन में नहीं मिलने वाले हैं क्या?
नहीं, अभी तो चल रहा है. अभी तो मेरा I'm still addicted to teaching a little bit. Now I'll start teaching about having no gym.
Thank you so much.
No, it's not like anything like that has changed, but a certain inner, what can you say, you know? Like let's say, like a lot of people are motivational speakers. They're trying to motivate you to get somewhere in life. Come on, you can do it. You know? Get your life better, get your health better, get your family better, and so even spirituality, come on, you can do more, you can. And somehow I've lost that thing of come on, anything. So that's the only difference. But I'll continue to, at least right now it looks like I'll continue to share and whatever. We'll see what shape it takes. So I don't think there has to be a big sense of finality about it. But the reason the rainbows, not everyone's even aware of Rainbow Body Sangha, but we'd begun a Sangha where we were chanting and we were doing certain learnings and practices about certain slightly more esoteric aspects of spirituality and how can you activate a deeper potential. That is no longer resonating. So I just felt it was relevant for me to leave that group, because there's no point leading a group where I don't longer resonate with it. And I started it because I was really highly resonating with it. And the group is still there. By all means, continue. You know, there's no one stopping. I'm not saying it's wrong what you're doing. I'm just being honest about where I am.
Thank you.
Yeah. So good. Thank you, Seema. Good. Nice. Are we feeling complete, everybody? The main message I have for you is that if you're liking whatever's coming through me, you know, teachings or whatever, why not go directly to source? Why are you relying on some Nithya Shanti's videos and everything? But the source is available to you also. I don't know, half the time, I don't know what's coming out of my mouth. So it's coming from somewhere. And where is your question coming from? Your question also coming from somewhere. Your emotions also are coming from somewhere. Your uncertainties are also. So why not go back to that source? Right. So that's all. Take out the middleman. And then we all have fun together. Then it's no longer about, oh, Nithya had an answer. I messaged him 2 days back, he's not answered. Or I'm not able to find that meditation was very good. I did one, I can't find it anymore. Where is it? You know, I used to, it was very funny, a few years back, one of my credit cards expired. And I didn't notice that it expired. So SoundCloud where I have hundreds of guided meditations and talks and things. It's like an audio version of YouTube. So because my credit card expired, that subscription also expired. So suddenly I began getting emails from all over the world, Africa, South America, Eastern Europe. Like, Nithya, what happened? All your meditation is gone. And I was like, wow, I don't even know these people. So they were all accessing this without my even knowing it. And they become so dependent on it that I can't start my day without that. So I don't think, please don't get that dependent that if my credit card expires, your happiness is at stake. That should not be your case. Yeah, do it for fun. But ultimately go to your own source. You have everything that I'm sharing is available to you. I'm just reminding you of that. And I can't think of a better message to give on Guru Purnima than that. Come home to your own native intelligence. The intelligence that guided you in the mother's womb, that took care of you in the mother's womb, will continue to take care of you in this larger womb that we call life. And trust yourself. And don't have to imitate me. Don't have to imitate my non-journey or long journey or whatever it is. Just enjoy. Like somebody said, I'm really enjoying my spiritual journey. Excellent. Enjoy it. That's all it is. In that moment of enjoyment, there is no journey. Because if that moment is complete, you see, that's it. Why are you on a journey? Because you're trying to get away from something. If you weren't trying to get away from something, would you be on a journey? So in the moment of enjoyment, you are already home. All is well. Chali, let's make a, somebody said, are you going to do a Mayurma symbol? Yeah, we can do a Mayurma symbol. Take your hands up. Make a nice big heart. And we can say together, my you. Thank you all for joining me today. Lots of love and thank you for your very loving thoughts and words. Appreciate it very much. Let me unmute you. You can say goodbye if you like.
Goodbye, Nithya.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you,
Nithya. Big
Thank
hug.
you.
Thank you so much, Nithya. Happy Guru Purnima, Nithya. Thank you so much.
We will miss you, Nithya.
Miss you,
Thank you, seeing you tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Nithya.
Thank you
It's
so
like
much.
I'm saying I'm missing you. So why are you missing me? I'm here.
Thank you. Good night.